So good afternoon to all of you. So in the unit number 1 in herbal drug technology, we were actually discussing the critical components related to herbs as raw materials. We had seen the sources of herbal materials and also other aspects like what are all the various types of formulations or preparations that we have in the market, that also we have seen. So in the present lecture, we will discuss in detail regarding processing of herbal raw material. Processing of herbal raw material. So in the unit number 1, so we have covered the first part, herbal drug, what is the definitions, etc., etc., selection of herbs, sources of herbs, etc. Now let us see the last part in this processing of herbal raw material. So processing of herbal raw materials is needed. Why it is needed? So normally in herbal industry, the herbs are obtained from source, like you can have it coming from forest or cultivated, means from fields. So both can be sources. So while collecting, there is every possibility that you will have one extra material. Extra material. The second one is unwanted material. Unwanted. Third one is foreign material. Foreign material. Okay. So here, let's say you wanted only leaf. Okay, instead of leaf plus stalk will also be collected. So you have to remove this. Unwanted means you are looking for leaf, they'll collect the branch. Okay, like the best example is you are looking for curry leaf. So what the seller will sell you? Okay, if you go to Raitu Bazaar or if you go to market, vegetable market, will you get curry leaves? So you will have the entire branch. Okay, so entire branch that has to be cleaned. Foreign material means, so leaf, required leaf plus other material. Okay, so this is one means to pre-process. Okay, that is the first step. You have to clean the material. And the next one is, sometimes because the plant material, if it is available in large quantity or if it is available in specific seasons, or if the plant material has a limitation to limitation in terms of conditions, environmental conditions, then you have to take care of processing. Like you have the leaf material. Okay, leaf is there. Then you wanted to store this material for long periods. So you will send it for drying, or you will do powdering and then store it. And whenever it is needed, you will be using it. Because the leaf is available in Assam and the user is in Kerala, then what to do? Will they collect and then wait for their order and then they will send it till this? No, it is not like that. So this is the entire thing is what we call it as processing. Sometimes the material is collected in such a conditions where they even needs cleaning. Okay, cleaning. So it is like that. So many steps are needed because we are collecting material in raw condition, which is to be processed. Are you able to understand this concept? Okay. So here, the processing of herbal raw materials happens in 2 phases. So one of them is what we call it as primary processing, and the next one is secondary processing. So in the primary processing, whatever I told you so far, like garbling, washing, parboiling, leaching, and drying happens. So in all these cases, our objective is to remove foreign entities or extra material from collected herb. Extra material from collected herb. In the secondary processing, the inputs are obtained from primary processing. So the material is clean, material is authenticated, material is genuine. And then we go for the next processes like size reduction, like powdering, cutting, etc. Aging and sweating means we subject the material to heat, steam at specific conditions. So all these things will happen: baking, roasting, boiling, stir frying, fumigation, extraction. These all will happen in the second phase. Okay, we will see in detail regarding all these steps. And once the secondary processing is done, the product will be packed and either stored or sent to the user. User can be a patient, a doctor, a pharmaceutical company. Okay, any one of them. Okay, so this is it. This is the way how the processing of herbal raw materials happens. The first one is garbling. Garbling is nothing but sorting. Okay, so here I gave you a very simple example through which you can easily understand. Let's imagine that you are looking for leaves of a herbal material. But while collecting, it is not possible all the time to collect leaves alone. Because who is collecting the material? The workforce. Okay, it is not machines. Okay, workforce will be there. So what they will do? They will follow certain protocol through which the plant material can be collected quickly and easily. Okay, because agriculture is actually labor intensive. So much of physical work will be there. So that's the reason why these things will be there. Okay, even when you are using machines, it is imperative that the machines cannot collect individual leaves. Okay, so far such a machinery is not available. First, they will have to collect the the entire branch or something like that, and then they will go for sorting or garbling. In this process, it helps in ensuring the purity and cleanliness of the harvest materials. So here dirt like soil, dust, impurities like insects, dead tissues, residual, non-medicinal plants are separated from the raw materials. So these are the two steps that are key for this step, okay, processing event. The process depends on the part of the plant to be prepared. If you are looking for a leaf, if you are looking for a bark, if you are looking for a fruit, if you are looking for seed, depending upon the part you are looking for, the process will change. Okay, the process may involve procedures such as removing dirt, foreign substances, discarding the damaged parts, peeling of barks, sieving, trimming, removal of hair from roots, removal of seeds from fruits, stripping of leaves from stems, etc. So right now, because right now we have so many machines have come into place, so that's the reason why earlier manually they used to do the garbling process, but most of the processes that you can see right now in many industries, they were replaced by machines. Especially pepper and many others. Okay, for this one potato. For potato, everything is mechanized now. For potato starch, preparation of potato starch, everything is mechanized now. Okay, so this is all about the garbling process. The second one is washing. Obviously, when do we need washing? We need washing whenever dirt, unremovable dirt is associated always with the plant material. That is one reason. Because we are growing herbs in soil and we are not doing any kind of we are not going to cover the entire plant with plastic cover or something like that. So it is by default they are exposed to the environment, so they will collect dirt. We cannot change it. So to remove that, after the garbling process, the herbal drug material should be cleaned well to remove the traces of remaining soil. Okay, dirt and other impurities from the surface. Roots, rhizomes, tubers. So especially these three that are directly growing in soil. So they were actually supposed to be cleaned with water. So you can easily see this type of situations in Raitu Bazaar or in the vegetable market where the carrots, beetroots, etc. They are actually completely cleaned. Garbling process and cleaning process is over by the time they reach the vegetable market. That's the reason why you will be able to see clean carrots. Okay, so here also we have automated machinery available for cleaning process. The next one is parboiling or blanching. Okay, parboiling or blanching. This is more like what I would say. It is more like this one sterilization type of a thing. After washing, certain herbal materials need to undergo parboiling process, in which they are put in boiling water for short time. Right now, what are we doing with the vegetables that we are collecting from the Raitu Bazaar? Because there is COVID situation is there, okay? Every one of us, though they are already clean, we bring them to home, and all vegetables we are trying to blanch. Our parboiling process is what is happening in most of our houses. Okay, I think you also agree with me. Okay, so they may help improve the storage life also, because we are exposing the plant material to boiled water. So the thermal degradation of bacterial material will actually and also the enzymes that are present in the plant material, they actually increase the storage life of the raw materials, and they prevent the insect or mold contamination, because we are exposing plant material to boiling conditions. This works only for some of the plant materials only, not every plant material, not every herbal material. It may also facilitate in further processing, such as removal of stubborn impurities as well as outer coats covering of the raw materials. So if you see the way how the peeling process happens in potatoes, okay, so there you can clearly see that the potatoes are exposed to hot steam, and that will actually help in the peeling of the outer layer in case of potato. So while making the chips, okay, so here this is the instrumentation that is available for boiling parboiling process. So here the product is coming from this side, and water spray. So this is boiled water spray is explained. The plant material is exposed to the boiled water spray, and then you also have the steam over here to maintain the temperature. The product exit from this side. The next one is leaching. Leaching is done for only some of the plant materials only. So some impurities can be removed by subjecting the plant material under running water, known as leaching. Okay, so you keep the plant material and then let the plant material soak in water, that is flowing water. So slowly the impurities are going to be removed. However, the duration of leach should be controlled to prevent loss of chemical constituents present in the drug. So leaching is done only to a very few plant materials only. The next one is very common thing, that is drying, very important. So drying is supposed to help us by removing moisture, and also it reduces damage due to microbial or mold infestation. So microbial or mold infestation, whenever life has to prevail, it needs moisture. So unless you have moisture, the microbial or fungal growth cannot happen. So that's the reason why there is a lot of importance in herbal industry especially for this drying operation. So whenever there is a possibility, open drying is done for some of the materials like this one, curcuma as well as mirchi. And in some cases, because here we are exposing the material to sun rays. So if the material is photoactive or photodegraded material, if it is there, then it is always preferred to go for shade drying. Okay, so here we will maintain temperature, humidity control in the chambers, so thereby we can control the degradation of plant material during drying. So in industry, you can see dryers like tray dryer, vacuum tray dryer, combined means vacuum as well as this one, combined dryers also will be there. Okay, so which contains racks on which you can keep the plant material. So in case of tray dryers, because whenever you don't have enough space for drying, open space is needed. But in pharmaceutical industry, having acres of land is a luxury. So that's the reason why and also to control drying process, artificial drying is taken into consideration. So tray dryers are ovens in simple terms. Belladonna roots, cinchona bark, tea, raspberry leaves, etc. are dried by using tray dryers. In vacuum drying, resins like are materials which are highly hygroscopic, like tannic acid, and which have to be dried very quickly, like digitalis leaves are supposed to vacuum drying. Spray dryers, where they handle liquids like papaya latex, pectin, tannins, etc. Are dried by using spray dryers. Okay, so here this is the example for one of the study where a plant is taken, it is extracted, and the extract is subjected to spray drying so that a powder is obtained. Okay, this type of powder material is obtained by using spray drying. That is about the primary process. Okay, so where we have cleaning, blanching, and then we have parboiling. Then we have drying. In drying, we have natural drying or artificial or machine used drying. These are the processes that are used for processing, preliminary processing of the plant material. All of you, are you able to understand the concept? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, very good, very good. So in the secondary processing, here the inputs are obtained from primary processing. So in the secondary processing, what we are doing, the process differs from one herb to another herb, because sometimes you may need extraction, sometimes you may need powdering, sometimes you may need mixture preparation, or so many other things are there. So that's the reason why it all depends upon herb. The secondary processing is always depends upon the type of herb. And secondary processing includes techniques such as removal of foreign substances, prevention of microbial infestation, enhancing the efficacy of drugs, reducing the toxicity, extraction by using suitable solvents, concentration and drying of extracts. Okay, this is what will happen. So that ultimately the product that is obtained will go to the consumer. Okay, so these are further standardized by different methods. Okay, so once the secondary processing is done, the product that is obtained will be evaluated and then it will go to the market. So here, as I told you, the plant material is size reduced, cutting, sectioning and comminution. So here size reduction is done. Let's say when a root is there, root will be powdered, seeds are powdered. It is like that. Aging and sweating. Okay, so this is a unique process where aging refers to storing the raw material for a specified time after harvesting. It is generally done under sun or in shade for up to a year. Okay, if you observe in case of rice, okay, the rice that we cultivate after harvesting, that will be kept for about 6 months. Okay, then that will go to milling. That will go to milling. So during this process, what will happen? The moisture content will change and the seed will become hardened so that it will be uh, no, suitable for consumption. So that is what we call it as aging. So it is done also to some of the herbs so that it helps in attaining appropriate chemical constituency. Okay. So during this process of aging, excess water is evaporated. Enzymatic reactions may occur to alter the chemical composition of the herbal material. To alter the chemical composition of the herbal material. So while collecting, the herb shall contain a chemistry which is not suitable for medical applications. So that's the reason why we have to change the chemical composition. Example, cascara bark should be aged for at least 1 year prior to use for medicinal purposes because it irritates. The irritating point may be due to volatile oil or something like that. That will be destroyed or removed in the aging process. In case of sweating, the herbal material is kept at a temperature 45 to 65 degrees centigrade. Like no, some of the humans, the people, they go for steam bath. It is more like that. Okay, we allow the herbal material to get exposed to this much temperature so that the moisture that is there inside will come out. Okay, whenever there is high humidity is there, so at that time it will come out. The period may range from 1 week to few months. The herbal materials are stacked between woolen blankets or other kind of cloth during this process. The sweating process is considered hydrolytic oxidative process in which some of the chemical ingredients of the herbs are hydrolyzed or oxidized. Means we are going to alter the chemistry suitable for us. Suitable for us. In tobacco, you will see a similar process being done in barrens. Okay, you will have barrens where tobacco will be kept and will be subjected to sweating process. The next one is baking or roasting. Okay, it is a process of drug heating where the herbal material is heated in ovens. The temperature of the heating and duration of baking may vary from material to material. Okay, so nutmeg is roasted till they turn to yellowish brown color. So this heating process also will have significant impact on the chemical constituency. In some cases, we have to heat the material so that it will achieve appropriate chemical constituency which is perceived in terms of the color or flavor. The next one is boiling or steaming. This is extreme. This one and this one. These two are extremes. So here boiling and steaming means we simply boil the material till appropriate time in appropriate solvent. So in Ayurvedic preparations, you will see boiling of herbs in vinegar, wine, milk, or animal urine. Okay, so these are the four very popular solvents that we use for boiling herbal materials. Okay, Acorus calamus is a rhizome. We know that. Okay, so that is boiled in cow's urine before we use it. So in this process, usually the herbal materials are put in a spot of frying pan and continuously stirring or tossed for a specified period. Okay, it is almost like preparing. In the kitchen, we quite often see this type of stir frying. The same thing is done. So licorice roots and rhizomes are stir fried for herbal preparation. The last one is extraction of herbal materials. Okay, so we prefer extraction as a process of separation in which chemical constituents present in a plant and tissues are removed by selective solvents. That is what we call it as menstruum. Okay, so here what we will do, we take a vessel, there we keep the solvent, and then we have the herb over here. And what will happen from the leaf, the active materials that we have in the herb will go into the solvent, so that what we can do in the solvent, we have all that are useful in a herbal material are extracted. So you simply have to filter and remove the mark. And when you concentrate, let's say from 1 ton material, if you do the extraction, maybe you get 10 kg extracts. 10 kg extract. And this is free from enzymes, free from plant material, and has very high concentration of active ingredients. So that's the reason why it is easy to store, easy to transport, and will have very high T-half value. Okay, so this is one reason why extraction of herbal materials is done. Further, in case of Ayurveda, we have seen usage of extracts like infusions, decoctions, fluid extracts, tinctures, and powder extracts in the herbal drug preparations. Okay, so infusion means it is a liquid preparation obtained by extracting herbal materials with either cold or hot water without boiling. Okay, so whenever we use a solvent, cold or hot, without boiling, that is what we call it as infusion. Maybe you can find similar example in case of green tea. How do you prepare green tea? You take a glass full of hot water, and then a tea bag containing green leaf material will be there. So that you will dip so that you will have the green tea. Okay. So this is what we call it as infusion. In case of decoction, the liquid preparation is obtained by boiling the herbal materials with water. It is almost like preparing tea, where we take a utensil where you keep water, milk, sugar, etc., and a tea powder. Then you allow it to boil. Okay, Then you filter it. So here the waste material will be left, and then here you have the decoction. Okay, so to this you add milk, sugar, etc. So tea is prepared. So that is what we call it as decoction. So in fact, these are also called as herbal tea. The third one is fluid extract. It is a liquid preparation obtained by maceration or percolation of herbal materials in alcohol. The ratio will be 1:1. Okay, if you take 1 kg herbal material, you will mix it with 1 kg alcohol or 1 liter alcohol. It is like that. The next one is tinctures. It is a dilute alcoholic extract of herbal materials, typically made up of 1 part of herbal material with 5 to 10 parts of the solvent. Okay, so that is it. That is about the tincture. The last one is powdered extract, where it is a form of herbal preparation which is processed into dried, granulated, or powdered material. It is not like you take a herb and powder it. No, you have to take it, extract it. The extract is dried by using spray dryer or something like that. So like this, you take the powdered material, you have done extraction. That extract is subjected to spray drying, and ultimately you got the powdered extract. So that is the way how extraction of herbal materials is done. The last one is fumigation. Fumigation means what? Whenever there is a mosquito problem in your area, what the government will do, they will send a fumigating team where they will give the fumes so thick that all the mosquitoes will flee your area. Okay. So in the same way, fumigation is done to herbs also. Sometimes the harvesting raw materials are subjected to fumes. Fumigation with sulfur dioxide is commonly employed for some medicinal herbs for purpose of preserving color, improved appearance, bleaching, and to prevent growth of insects and moths. Okay, so they will be exposed to fumes like sulfur dioxide, so that they will kill if any microbes are there, or they may sometimes help in changing the outer texture, color, etc. And also they help in improving the T half value or half life of the plant material. Okay, so friends, these are the various processes that we have in herbal drug industry. After collection of the herbs, they are subjected to primary process, and then they will be subjected to secondary process, and then the herbs are evaluated, and then they will be sent to the consumer. All of you, are you able to understand these concepts? Then, so I thank you all for your patient listening. With this, I conclude my today's presentation. So tomorrow we'll go to the next topic.